explore the rhythms beneath daily life through body, relationship, and the living world. I'm Nicholas Bolton, and this is a space for exploring the rhythms, stories, and unseen currents that shape us. Through conversation, reflection, and embodied wisdom, we attune to what moves beneath the surface. The quiet impulses, the deep undercurrents, the forces that guide and connect us. The current isn't something we control. It's something we listen to, move with. Sometimes we follow, sometimes we resist. Sometimes we feel it moving through us effortlessly, like breath, like music, like a tide pulling us forward. Other times we push against it without even realizing, caught in old patterns and hesitation and the need to know before we step. But whether we notice it or not, the current is always there, shaping, shifting, carrying us forward, whispering in sensation, revealing itself in stillness, moving between us in the pauses and the moments we least expect, in nature, in the body, in the spaces where movement begins. In this space, this podcast is about learning how to tune into it. Not just in theory, but in presence, in the ways we move, listen, and meet what's already here. Welcome to the current. Let's find what's alive here. Some currents are easy to see, like the rush of a river after heavy rain, the surge of electricity when a circuit connects, the undeniable pull of gravity when we let ourselves fall into something new. Others move beneath the surface, the underground threads of mycelium exchanging nutrients between trees, the subtle shift in a nervous system recalibrating after safety is felt, the electricity in the air just before a storm. Like a river, the current is always shifting, sometimes slow, sometimes strong. Like the nervous system, it adapts, responds, and communicates in ways we don't always recognize. And like a mycelial network, it connects us in ways we can't always see. But the current isn't just around us, it's within us. It lives in the body's quiet intelligence, the breath moving in before we think to take it, the spine's gentle wave when we surrender effort, the pulse in the fingertips when we tune into sensation. It's the way our nervous system holds memory, adapts, and responds before we ever put words to experience. It's the feeling of being pulled toward something before we know why. The current isn't something we chase, it's something we allow. It moves through sensation, through the body's quiet responses, through the spaces we don't always think to look. So as you listen, I invite you to notice, to feel, to sense what is already moving within you. Just like the currents we move with, this space won't always move the same way. Some moments will be deep and slow, like the quiet pull beneath the surface. Others will be dynamic and alive, carrying momentum like a river in full flow. There will be times to pause, to notice, to attune, and times to move with the energy of a conversation, each one adding another ripple to the current. Some episodes will feel like a deep exhale, quiet, grounding, spacious. Others might carry the charge of a wave, alive, invigorating, moving through you before you even realize it. This podcast is about attunement to the rhythms of healing, creativity, connection, and transformation. Some conversations will be deeply personal and reflective, exploring what it means to reconnect with our inner knowing. Others will bring in educators, scientists, and practitioners, expanding our understanding of somatic intelligence, nervous system wisdom, and the science of embodiment. Some episodes will feature voices from across disciplines, therapists, artists, storytellers, and scholars, each exploring their own relationship with the living current. Through deep conversations, we'll explore the rhythms that shape expression, relationship, and change. This isn't just about listening to stories, it's about feeling into your own experience. Some episodes may leave you with a question, an insight, or even a moment of stillness to sit with. This is an invitation not just to learn, but to notice. There will be moments of silence, deep listening, and invitations to sense what's present in your own experience, because this isn't just about consuming information, it's about being in the current. I first felt the current as a kid, not in words, but in movement, in play, and the way my body just knew how to follow something unseen. It was there in the creek behind my house where I spent hours mucking around, catching toads, getting lost in the tiny ecosystems of water and stone. I remember the cold rush of water over my hands, the slick weight of a rock rolling free, the pause of life hidden in the mud. It was there in my imagination, playing swords in my backyard, reenacting epic battles in my mind, feeling my body drop into a rhythm, moving through proprioceptive flow. There was something effortless in it, something alive in the way movement just happened when I let it. I felt it in sports, especially basketball. There was something about the way the game moved. The way I could sense the energy of the court, how offense and defense unfolded like a dance. I would watch the Bulls play, then go down to my basement, replaying the same sequences over and over, feeling the patterns, the rhythm, the deep intelligence in motion. And I felt it just as much in the earth itself. I grew up gardening with my parents, hands in the dirt, feeling the rhythms of planting, growing, tending. There was something about being in relationship with the soil, not just working on it, but working with it. And I was always digging. Wherever I went, I had a shovel, a construction toy, an excavator, a dump truck. Whether it was in the yard, at a baseball tournament, or any open patch of ground, I'd be digging, unearthing, moving what was beneath the surface. Even then, I think I was sensing something, the pull toward what is buried, the unseen layers beneath things, the movement happening underground before anything grows. In college, I spent a lot of time in nature, hiking, camping, being immersed in the wild. Something in me recognized itself there. In the stillness of a forest, the movement of a river, the quiet intelligence of the land. I could feel a greater rhythm pulsing through everything. There was something undeniably alive, not just around me, but in me, through me. The same intelligence that turns an acorn into an oak tree, a fetus into an adult, that orchestrates the rising and setting of the sun, the orbits of the planets. That same intelligence was moving through my body too. At a certain point, I stopped seeing myself as separate from it. I surrendered to it. At first, it was subtle, a different way of sensing, a quiet awareness rather than an answer. But the more I listened, the more I felt it, like a thread running through everything, through my body, my choices, my relationships, a current that had always been there, waiting for me to notice. Through deep communion with the earth and the unseen forces shaping life, I began to feel what I can only describe as a divine current, a biological intelligence woven into all things. It wasn't an abstract idea. It was something tangible, tingling in my skin, moving through my breath, lighting up my body with warmth and clarity. That surrender changed everything. I decided to dedicate my life and purpose to being a steward of that intelligence, to letting the current move through me, to living in attunement with it. I saw that this wasn't about controlling life or forcing a path. It was about learning to set my ego, my mental agendas, my need for certainty aside, and allowing something deeper to emerge in its own time. And when I did, something in me exhaled. A breath I didn't even know I was holding. I feel this current most vividly when I'm with a client, when we are fully in the pocket, attuned, moving with what wants to emerge. There's something indescribable about that state of deep presence, a resonance, a knowing, a moment when the body leads and we simply follow. In these sessions, I'm not guiding the process. I'm listening to what is already happening. The body has its own rhythm, its own unfolding intelligence. It moves through cycles of contraction and release, holding and softening, resisting and surrendering. It follows the same principles as nature. The tide receding before it returns, the river carving its way through resistance. The river doesn't force its way through rock. It moves with time, shaping the path as it flows. What looks like resistance isn't an obstacle, it's part of the process. The current moves and the landscape shifts in response. Healing works the same way. Healing isn't about force, it's about flow. Just like a river, we don't break through old patterns in a single moment. We reshape them gradually through attunement, presence, and movement. I first understood this in my own body when I found somatic experiencing. At the time, I had completed a graduate program in mental health counseling and was working in a comprehensive mental health agency, but something wasn't landing. I had spent years in professional spaces, absorbing frameworks, learning interventions, refining my skills. I'd been trained to observe, analyze, and apply solutions. And yet, when it came to my own experience, something was missing. I hadn't yet encountered someone who could meet me in the depth of it, who could hold space for the vastness and the subtlety, without trying to fix or explain. Then I stepped into my first somatic experiencing training, and for the first time, I wasn't just learning about healing, I was feeling it. Something shifted before I could put words to it. My breath slowed, not because I was controlling it, but because something in me knew it was safe to let go. The tension in my shoulders that I hadn't even realized I was holding eased just slightly. There was a warmth in my chest, a softening in my belly. I wasn't being asked to share, to explain, to prove my pain in words. I was being met beneath language, beneath defenses, beneath all the ways I had learned to hold myself together. That experience changed everything. It was the first time I truly understood healing is not something we impose. It is something that emerges naturally when given the right conditions. Since then, I have dedicated my work to creating that space for others, to being present to what is already moving, to supporting the body's own process of pendulation and completion, to recognizing that healing is a current, one that carries us if we learn to move with it rather than against it. Not every experience of the current is profound. Sometimes it's subtle, barely noticeable until we tune in. It's the way a conversation shifts when we stop trying to control it and instead meet it where it is. When words don't have to be forced. When meaning emerges naturally without effort. It's the moment something rings deeply true, whether spoken or received. A phrase, an insight, a knowing that lands in the body before the mind even fully grasps it. A full body tingle, warmth spreading through the heart and belly, a quiet clarity. It's the way the body responds to being fully seen, fully met. When someone attuned and present contacts something in us, not just with words, but with presence, something shifts. The body softens, warmth rises, a wave of tears just behind the eyes. It's the quiet recognition of kindred connection. When we meet someone or even an animal and something deep inside says, I know you. A familiarity, a resonance, a sense of being at home. A moment of authentic connection. It's when relational energy is aligned, when you feel yourself in flow with another person, not just in conversation, but in the unspoken rhythms beneath it. The way breath sinks without thinking about it, the ease in shared movement, the silent attunement. It's the feeling of your body letting go just slightly when you step into a warm shower after a long day. When you exhale and feel the weight you didn't realize you were carrying. It's the quiet moment between thoughts, between words, between actions, where something deeper is present. The current is always there. We just have to notice it. So now I invite you to notice, where do you feel the current most alive in your life right now? Is it in a conversation, in a moment of stillness, in the way your body moves without thinking about it? What happens when you stop resisting it and simply let it move? You don't have to find an answer, just notice. Maybe it's subtle, just beneath the surface. Maybe it's something you've always known but never put into words. Or maybe it's a sensation you're only now beginning to recognize. And if nothing comes right away, that's okay too. Sometimes the current reveals itself slowly. Sometimes it's only when we look back that we realize it was moving all along. Maybe today you'll sense it in a new way. Maybe in a place you weren't expecting. Maybe in a way that surprises you. Maybe in a space you thought was empty, but now feels full. Maybe in a moment of stillness where something deeper is present. The current doesn't stop when we stop noticing it. It's still moving beneath the surface, between words, inside the body. Maybe what's next isn't about where the current is going, but how we're experiencing it. Maybe it's already moving in ways we haven't noticed yet. Next time, we'll step into another ripple of the current. Maybe the next ripple will bring clarity. Maybe it will stir something unexpected. Or maybe it will be a gentle reminder of something you've always known. Maybe it will offer a different way of listening, a deeper way of sensing. Maybe it will meet you exactly where you are in ways you don't expect. Whatever shape it takes, the current knows the way. Wherever it leads, the current will be there, shaping, shifting, carrying us forward. Until then, keep listening, keep sensing, and trust the rhythm that moves in you.